All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Next Time the Power. So in this video, we're going to talk about bodybuilders that got massive in the off season. So this is going to include bodybuilders that put on fat and water, as well as just overall size. So this list is going to be in no particular order. I'm just going to list off some bodybuilders that got massive. So first on this list, we've got Paul Dillett. So Paul Dillett was a bodybuilder who competed primarily in the 1990s. His best placings would be a fourth place finish at the 1994 Mr. Olympia. He was a frequent top 6 finisher at the Olympia. In fact, he placed in the top 6 5 times at the Mr. Olympia competition. Then the biggest title that he would win would be the 1999 Night of Champions. So Paul Dillett is on this list because when he was in competition condition, he would weigh 285 pounds at the biggest, or 129 kilograms. Now keep in mind, he is 6'2", so he is a relatively tall bodybuilder. But his off-season weight, he would push it all the way up to 330 pounds, or in excess of 150 kilograms. So he got absolutely massive in the off-season, almost 50 pounds above his stage weight, which is already a massive stage weight to begin with. As you can see from these photos, this guy was a giant in the off-season. So next on the list, we have a bodybuilder by the name of Trey Brewer. So Trey Brewer was never a pro bodybuilder. He was an NPC super heavyweight competitor. Prior to about 2010 was really the peak of his popularity. He was signed to BSN Sports Nutrition. So that's where a lot of you guys might know who he was. He was in a lot of magazines in the BSN ads. So in competition condition, he only weighed 225 to 242. So in competition condition, that was a max weight of 109.7 kilograms. So in the off season, Trey Brewer would get up to 355 pounds, or 161 kilograms. So in the offseason, that means Trey Brewer would weigh over 100 pounds above his stage weight in competition conditions. So that's why in a lot of these photos, he looks, pretty fat. He looks pretty overweight because this was 100 pounds in excess of his stage weight, which is probably one of the most extreme examples of a bodybuilder getting huge in the offseason. That's just like the ultimate kind of letting yourself go. That's way too much body fat, in my opinion, to be putting on in the offseason. So his heaviest would be 113 pounds gained between a competition and the offseason. So that would be the most he would gain, which in my opinion is pretty extreme. And he would go on to retire in 2010, and he would become a firefighter after that and quit his bodybuilding career. So the next man on this list is going to be the German giant Markus Rühl. So Markus Rühl competed primarily in the early 2000s, and his most prestigious titles would be the 2002 Night of Champions, which he won, and also the 2000 Toronto Pro. He also boasted a 5th place finish at the 2004 Mr. Olympia. So this guy was definitely a top-level pro bodybuilder. So in competition, Markus Rühl's heaviest weight was about 285 pounds, or 129.3 kilograms. On average, he was between 275 and 285. But in the off-season, he was known to get up to as much as 330 pounds at a height of 5'10", which is the equivalent of 154.2 kilograms. He boasted 24-inch arms in the off-season and a 60-inch chest. But as you can see, a lot of that size he put on in the offseason was not quality, and a lot of it was just water weight or fat, because you can tell he didn't look that great in the offseason. But Markus Rühl, arguably one of the biggest freaks in bodybuilding history, and one of the most impressive-looking guys on and off-season, because he was just massive. Now, I would be remiss if I did not mention the great Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia on this list, because obviously he did a lot of guest posings because he was Mr. Olympia so many times. A lot of people wanted him to pose at their shows in the offseason. So we do have a lot of photos of Ronnie Coleman not looking his best because they are off-season photos. So Ronnie Coleman definitely makes this list. His heaviest weight in competition was pretty much 300 pounds, or 136 kilograms. In the offseason, he was known to get up to about 315 or 143 kilograms, and that was at a height of 5'11". So he really didn't get that fat, but really compared to how dry and hard he could look on the Olympia stage, some of his guest posings, he did look pretty fat and watery, and just overall massive, especially his legs. I found that some of the old photos of his legs in the offseason, his legs just look enormous. So finally, of course, this list would not be complete without the massive, the incredible Big Ramy. So Big Ramy obviously took 2nd place at the 2017 Mr. Olympia this year. He also won the 2017 Arnold Classic Europe. He won the 2015 Arnold Classic Brazil, and of course the 2014 New York Pro, as well as the 2016 Kuwait Pro. So an incredible bodybuilder in Big Ramy, and at 5'10", his competition weight is about 295 pounds or 134 kilograms. And of course, as we all know, in the offseason, he has gotten up to a hefty 350 pounds, and he manages to somehow stay reasonably lean with visible abs at 350. So that is 158.7 kilograms. So arguably one of the most massive bodybuilders in the offseason of all time, and staying relatively lean while he does that. So this list would definitely not be complete without Big Ramy. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about this list, and if you have any more bodybuilders you would like to add that got massive in the offseason. Thank you guys for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.